In this tutorial, we'll show you the correct post-processing procedures for parts printed on the ProJet X60 series. We will start with the gross and fine depowdering of your parts. Before we begin this step, we will need a few supplies. Nitrile gloves, picks and brushes, aluminum foil, a tray to hold your parts, an oven such as the ProJet Finisher or the ProJet Finisher XL. To begin, open up the printer chamber of the ProJet X60. Using the dial, navigate to the build chamber menu. From there, select the empty build chamber option. The build chamber will lower to the bottom and vacuum out as much powder as possible dependent upon your geometry. Use the dial to select the vacuum option. Grab the vacuum hose and begin to remove any excess powder. The default nozzle will be sufficient for most parts. We'll use the other attachments as necessary for delicate features or small areas. When you are able, gently remove your part and transfer it to the cleaning chamber. Once all your parts have been removed, use the vacuum to clean up any remaining powder in the build chamber. To prepare for the next build, make sure to raise the platform to the start height by turning the dial clockwise while you're still in the vacuuming mode. Now use the dial to turn on the clean parts option. To adjust the air pressure, turn the nut at the base of the wand. Use the air wand to blow off all the remaining powder from your part. This is known as fine depowdering. With your tray at hand, remove your parts from the cleaning chamber to transfer them to an external cleaning location. Using a mix of brushes and picks, remove any residual powder from your parts. Picks are very good for cleaning out crevices and corners and pockets, things that are not easily accessible to a brush. Once you have completed the fine depowdering process, move all your parts into the oven.
Most parts can be thoroughly dried by the oven at 120 degrees Fahrenheit within an hour. Drying these parts is essential to provide proper infiltration. Any moisture in the part can lead to bad or weak part quality.
Now that our parts are done, we will remove them so we can begin our infiltration.
Our first method of infiltration will be with salt water.
We will need a few more supplies for this procedure. Epsom salt, a spray bottle, paper towels, water, and a funnel. Following the instructions on the bottle, fill it to the 7-ounce line with Epsom salt, then to the 16-ounce line with warm water. Make sure your lid is tightly secured, then shake the bottle until all salt crystals have been dissolved. From 6 to 10 inches away, lightly mist your models. 2 to 3 pumps is more than enough. Our second method of infiltration will be wax. For this step, we will need a few different supplies. Most notably, we will need wax, some wax paper, and a waxing oven.
With the wax melted to 77 Celsius,
simply place your parts into the bin and lower it into a liquid wax below. Bubbles will begin to escape from your part. This happens because the wax is infiltrating your part, pushing all the air in it out. It remains submerged in the wax until no more bubbles form. Now raise your parts from the wax and let them sit at the top to drip dry for a few minutes. If you don't have a waxing oven, use a Tupperware container and the ProJet Finisher ovens from earlier. Our third and most common method of infiltration is color bond. We will need a few more supplies for color bond as well. A breathing mask, safety glasses, color bond,
freezer paper or wax paper,
a plastic bin, a funnel, and a pro bench, a downdraft table. First, we will dump all our color bond into a plastic bin. We will make sure to have a bin large enough and enough color bond to fully submerge your part. Once you have a sufficient amount of color bond, you will simply submerge your part underneath the color bond. Like wax infiltration, the part will begin to bubble. Once the bubbles have completed, you know that you have fully infiltrated your part. Remove your part. Using a paper towel, dab off any excess color bond. The color bond remaining on the surface during drying will leave a glossy spot. Additionally, make sure you dab with your paper towel and not wipe. Wiping can leave lint particles on your part that will stay there forever. After you have completed infiltrating your parts, any remaining color bond is still usable, so we will pour it back into the bottle to use next time. Very carefully pour your color bond in through the funnel and make sure not to spill it anywhere. If you do spill, use your paper towels to clean it up quickly. You will then want to clean your plastic bucket and make sure there's no color bond residue left. Leftover color bond can turn into flakes. Next time you infiltrate, these flakes will be in your mixture and can end up on your part, causing inconsistent results. If you don't have enough color bond to completely submerge your part, you can try tilting your bucket. Find something to prop it up at an angle. This will give you a higher liquid level to submerge your part under. Our fourth infiltration method is a combo of the two previous, color bond and wax. For this process, we will need all the supplies mentioned for both. After color bonding our parts shown previously, we will now dip our parts in the wax. Again, simply submerge your parts in the wax temporarily to make sure they are fully covered. Then remove them and set them back at the top to drip dry. This process will give you a matte finish. The final process in this tutorial is color bond and clear coat. We will need all the supplies mentioned for color bond, as well as a clear coat spray paint. In a well-ventilated area, spray your part with a thin coat of clear. Spraying 4 to 5 coats from 6 to 8 inches away should be sufficient. For a much more glossy finish, add more layers of coat. Allow your part to sit in a clean area where dust will not settle on it for approximately 15 minutes, or until it is no longer tacky to the touch. Now let's review our results.
Picking an infiltrant is an important decision and should be largely based on what your application for the model is. Saltwater infiltration should only be used for monochrome models, as it will wash out any color printed onto the part. It does not provide much strength, but it will solidify the surface enough for safe handling. It is a very cost-efficient and safe method, but because it can only be used for white models, it's not a heavily used option. Architects have a tendency to like this option, as most of the things they print are printed in monochrome. Infiltration with wax is great for concept modeling and design review. This doesn't provide much strength, but it's more than enough for handling, and it brings out the color of your models. This is the most cost-effective, eco-friendly, and safe option available for models printed in full color mode. Because of this, it's a fantastic option for schools. Infiltration with color bond is the best all-around option and is the most commonly used. It will fit in the broadest range of applications with superior strength and advanced color enhancements. Finishing color bond parts with wax is best for presentation models. The color bond will supply the strength and color necessary for these models. Wax will add a nice satin finish to the model. Very little labor is needed for this method, and it will leave a very nice finish. Finishing color bonded parts with clear coats will provide top quality parts that will be suitable as showroom or trade show models. These high quality models will require a bit more effort, but the results will be outstanding. Color bond will provide the strength and color, while the paint job will allow you to have a wide range of finishing options, such as glossy, matte, satin, or anything in between. One method we did not cover is strength max, because it is not commonly used. However, if you are using your printed prototype for strength testing or other more robust applications, you may want to consider this two-part epoxy. If you are not familiar with two-part epoxies, it can be more difficult to use, as well as very expensive. These are our recommended methods, but please feel free to experiment. If you ever find anything new, we'd love to hear from you.